Continuing this special edition of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach Straight Talk Show, joined now by Jim Liaw, the president of Formula Drift. Welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me.
Tell our audience what drifting is all about.
Drifting is essentially it's a combination of traditional racing, which is done in race cars, and action sports, which is a judged sport like snowboarding or skateboarding. And it's a combination of those things on track for an exciting show.
And it's a controlled skid into concrete barriers where the drivers turn at the last second and miss. And I went on a press day ride, which was the e-ticket ride of my life, and you smell the rubber, you hear the drifting, and the fans just love it.
Yeah, it's sensory overload. You know, the misconception is that the cars are out of control, but in fact, it's all about driver skill, about keeping the car within the limits of control and at that boundary before it spins out, before it hits a wall.
Yes, hopefully before it hits with the press in it. But they go, it looks real close, and in the last minute they make that turn. And I had a great driver. And now you brought this sport to America.
We did. 10 years ago, the sport originally in Japan, more than 10 years ago, probably 20 years ago. But it was the first time that it left Japan. We organized a professional exhibition competition here in 2003. And from there, we launched Formula Drift as a US-based series. Since then, we have a global footprint. We have a Asia Championship. We have, obviously, the US Championship and various exhibitions and demonstrations across the world.
And you've been part of Grand Prix weekend for several years now with a gated exhibition the weekend before the race. But this year, you have something special.
Yeah, we've definitely stepped it up this year. I think for the last 7 years, we've done a full course exhibition. It's exciting for the fans to see, but I think there's a little bit of a disconnect between what traditional competition is and what was done during Grand Prix weekend. And so now this year we have the ability, with the help of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, to be able to be featured at night for the first time here in exhibition and competition form. So it's the Motegi Super Drift Challenge, and it's an invitation of 16 of our top drivers to compete on Grand Prix weekend.
So Jim, this is one of the value-added things you've built in this year.
Absolutely, it's a great addition. First time we've ever night racing, 39 years, so we're excited about that. And the affiliation we've had with Formula Drift has been exemplary over the years, and they will conduct their event the weekend before, and then top 16 drivers will come and compete on Friday and Saturday night under the lights for no added cost in the turns 9, 10, and 11 areas. So what's going to transpire is that activity is going to take place. We're going to have the concerts going on, and yet during that time, everybody can have access to all of the restaurants and the establishments along the race course, and everybody can come out and have a good time. And we're delighted to have this as an added part of our program.
I guarantee if you see Formula Drift in this exhibition, you will never forget it. For sure.
And at night, it's even more spectacular, which is really going to be a treat for everybody.
So Jim, you're a UCLA graduate, but you always liked cars, and then you had this idea of making a career of this series.
Yeah, you know, we were, my partner Ryan and I had a marketing agency, and we were doing projects. And we came across this opportunity where we brought it here. We thought it'd be maybe a once-a-year thing or something to that effect. But I think the cards just kind of fell in our lap that we had this opportunity, we had to seize it, and so in 2004 we launched Formula Drift.
Wow! So now you're 9 years into your history, and obviously it's fan response that dictates whether this thing is going to succeed, and obviously the fans have responded.
It has, and you know we're not as long running or as large as the Grand Prix, but you know in our 9-year history, our attendance have continued to grow. Even in economic downturn, we've had increased ticket sales every year. So I think, yes, the fan demand is there.
And these Formula Drift competition races are elsewhere besides Long Beach?
Right. The weekend before the Grand Prix, we kick off our championship season. Then we head to Atlanta, we go to New Jersey, Florida, Seattle, Texas, and back here to Southern California to Irwindale Speedway.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 37.
Wow. That's a lot to accomplish as a young man.
Absolutely, and you know, we've not only enjoyed working with Formula Drift, but they attract a very solid element in terms of the demographics, and we're delighted because it brings in
so that adds to your audience.
A number of the Asian population and the Hispanics who follow their series have now come to our race and become a part of our family too, and And what we're going to be doing this year with the Racing Under the Lights is just going to exemplify all of that.
So all in all, this is a great marriage.
Absolutely.
Jim, final words to our audience.
I think really you just have to see drifting live for yourself. It's a visceral experience. It's something that you can't see on a magazine or in a video.
Okay, well, come meet Jim, meet both Jims for that matter, at our Straight Talk Night at Trainees on Thursday, April 4th, and get your tickets to the Grand Prix. We'll put the numbers up and the website up right now. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of our show after these messages. We are back talking with the guiding genius of the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, Jim Michaelian. And so impressive is this race that we've put it on the cover of the current issue of the Straight Talk magazine.
Which gets maximum circulation.
Doesn't get any better than that, does it, Jim?
It's a great benefit to us, Art.
Well, it's not only the race weekend that's great, but in the lead up to that weekend, tell us some of the activities.
Absolutely. We really have created a week of activities leading up to the racing events. On Monday, the Grand Prix Foundation has their golf tournament. This year it's moving to El Dorado Golf Course right here in Long Beach.
And that raises money for local charities.
And that's all that money is distributed to local charities, so people can come down and golf and have a delightful dinner that night and an auction to go with it. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have the Roar on the Shore in Belmont Shore. We're going to have a big car show and driver autograph session and simulators right there in Belmont Shore around Legends. And Thursday, we have the Tecate Light Thursday Thunder on Pine, a traditional event now where we draw literally thousands of people out there for freestyle motocross, and we have pit stop competition and motorcycle demonstrations. And the Tecate Light Miss Toyota Grand Prix is selected to reign over our events on the weekend and for the rest of the year. So there's a great evening of activity out there on Pine Avenue, and then leading into the races that will take place on race weekend.
And then also a very moving event is the addition of new personalities to the Motorsports Walk of Fame.
The Motorsports Walk of Fame will take place as it has on Thursday at about 11 o'clock, and we've selected two great recipients this year. Paul Tracy, who's a four-time winner at Long Beach and certainly deserves to be included in the Long Beach Motorsports Walk of Fame. And then Adrian Fernandez, who also raced here for many, many years and still has over the last few years, but was really instrumental in our being able to attract a large number of the Hispanic audience that has now come to become a very important part of our
That's a great event,
base.
And everyone's welcome to come to it. It's 11 o'clock on Thursday before the race, which would be the 18th, I guess, of April.
Right on Pine Avenue in front of the Convention Center.
And it's right in front of the Convention Center.
Right. And then on Friday night, during race weekend, we have the Grand Prix Charity Ball, which will take place in the West End, and that's always a great event. And for those people who are in town for the racing events and activities, coming over to the West End adds to their experience here.
Let's put in a plug for the Committee of 300, whose volunteers, the Redcoats, do so much to help your race weekend work.
Absolutely. We've said year in and year out, and they've been with us from the very beginning, that they are the ambassadors. They are really the representatives, not only of the Grand Prix, but of the city of Long Beach, and they do an exquisite job in terms of reflecting the attitudes and the abilities that Long Beach really possesses, and they're a great benefit to us.
City.
Absolutely, because quite frankly, they come in contact with a lot more of the people that come to our race than we do, and it's so important that that image that the city is trying to perpetrate would be conveyed by the committee, and they do an excellent job of it.
Absolutely, and the Committee of 300 has their own Paddock Club, which is on the track, and you can buy Paddock Club passes and get great tickets through the Committee of 300. It helps support their activities all year long. If you're interested in getting more information about tickets to the Paddock Club, call the number 981-9200, and they'll fill you in and they'll take your ticket orders. What else highlights this weekend in your mind? You've been doing it now for 39 years.
Well, I think the key is, and we have included in the weekend are going to be a couple of concerts, which on Friday night is going to be our Hispanic Fiesta Friday with Moderato and Moena. And then on Saturday night, we have Bret Michaels coming in our Tecate Light rock and roll concert. So,
and there are thousands of people that are watching these concerts.
And I think the important thing to remember is one admission ticket gets you access to all of these various events, okay? Whether it's the night racing on Friday and Saturday night, or the concerts, or the Lifestyle Expo, all of them are included in the price of the general admission ticket.
And you can pick and choose what you want to go to.
And children 12 and under are free general admission during the entire weekend. Nice. So it really becomes a very valuable family event, because people can come for a relatively modest sum and have a great weekend of enjoyment.
You got it. We'll be back with the remaining portions of our show after these messages. Long Beach as a city is attracting major events to our community. The Gay Pride Festival, the TED Conference, the International City Bank Marathon, the Anjin Bike Tour. But certainly no event is more significant than the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, which brings in an economic value estimated at $25 million, plus worldwide television publicity, as we talked about earlier. So this is a major contribution to our city, Jim.
Well, we couldn't have a better partnership than we have with the City of Long Beach. These events really can't occur unless both parties or all parties are really working together to try to achieve a common objective. And that's one of the reasons why when people ask us, well, how's Long Beach been so successful, and why have you been able to run in a city like that for 39 years? That's one of the primary reasons, is that the whole city has worked so closely with us in terms of achieving our common objective, which is to showcase the assets of the city, not only to the 175,000 people that come here, but to the millions more that watch not only on national but international television.
Well, I remember the early years. I've been to all but 2 of these 39 races, and it was a real struggle in early years, holding it together. And
well, and quite frankly, the vision of what Long Beach was all about and the image that was trying to project was a bit of a challenge in those days. But now it's really very easy to say all of the things that we do about Long Beach, because all the video, all the experiences that people have only go forward to reinforce what is being disseminated about the city.
And the thought just occurred to me, in these 39 years, the race obviously has blossomed, as we've discussed for this whole show, but the city itself has blossomed.
Oh, absolutely. And people recognize the development of the city even from year to year when they come back or they watch on television. Exactly. And they see things that, suddenly are emerging and activities are taking place. And it's like, this is a growing, dynamic city. And that's obviously the image that we want to portray, because it is what Long Beach is all about.
39 years ago, there was not a hell of a lot going on in downtown. And I remember, I think the only time I went downtown for years was to your race.
Well, it was a Navy town. We had the Pike, and we had some activities that took place along Ocean Boulevard. But quite frankly, the differentiation between what was taking place in Long Beach in 1975 when we started and today is absolutely incredible. It is a true metamorphosis.
And here's truly one amazing thing. This young man still races. How do you do it?
Well, I got that injection in my bloodstream when I was a little kid, and it has stayed with me all these years, and it has cost me some money and some time, but I still enjoy it.
You went down to Florida last year, did you not, to race?
I was in the Daytona 24 Hours again this year. That was my 15th time, and
congratulations.
I still do. I still enjoy it. And
you're an inspiration to us younger folks looking up to you.
As long as they'll let me do it, I'm going to keep trying.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jim, and see you at the race. We'll be back next week with more Straight Talk. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by Southern California Edison, the Press Telegram, and remember, Straight Talk is viewable worldwide 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.